Yes, good morning, students. Um, Already we are discussing about information theory. So, this is your first unit in digital communication. In that, we are discussing on discrete memoryless source, information, entropy, and mutual information, which we have already discussed. And now, today's topic we are going to discuss on discrete memoryless channels, binary symmetric channel, and channel capacity. The last part of this unit is Hartley, Shannon laws, source coding theorem, Shannon, Fano, and Huffman's coding. Discrete memoryless channel. So what we are going to discuss in the second part of this first unit is discrete memoryless channel, binary symmetric channel and its types, and channel capacity. Now, you will see what is discrete memoryless. So, as the name suggests, discrete memoryless channel is in short called as DMC. It has got three components in it, that is discrete, memoryless, and channels. So, first we will see each and every component in it. First element is discrete. Discrete is, that is, input and output are discrete, which means they are not continuous. So, as in the analog, we can say the input is going to be a continuous signal. So, for a limit varying from 0 to 1, from all 0 to 1 there will be infinite number of elements, then it is called as an analog signal. It is continuous in nature. If you are going to have very discrete components, say from 0 to 1, at 0.5 there is one signal present, at 0.7 another signal is present, at 0.8 another signal is present. So, in between 0 and 1 there are three elements. So, three discrete elements are present. So, such a signal which has got discrete component in it is element is called as discrete in nature. Similarly, the output is also going to be discrete. So, discrete means your output and input are discrete in nature. They are not continuous. Coming to the second element, that is memoryless, which means output depends on the present input. It does not depend upon the previous values of the input what was transmitted. That is, it doesn't have any memory element in it to store the information. So, your channel is going to be a memoryless channel but doesn't have any memory component in it to store it. So, output purely depends upon the present state of the input. Coming to the third element, that is called as channel. So, channel is nothing but the medium through which the information is going to travel from the sender end to the receiver end. So, such a system is called as a discrete memoryless channel where the input and the output are going to be independent random variables which are discrete in nature, and the channel is going to be a memoryless channel, that is, it doesn't depend upon the previous states of the input. It depends only on the present state as there is no storage element present in it. So, now we'll see in detail what. So, the channel is going to be represented as a matrix. Here it is going to be a medium, or it is going to be the path from the transmitter end to the receiver end. Your symbol is going to flow from the transmitter end to the receiver end. So, here this discrete memoryless channel is going to be a statistical model with an input X and an output Y, and each possible input and the output path in your channel is going to be along the conditional probability of this channel, that is probability of Yj being received for Xi being transmitted. So, this we call it as channel transition probability. A channel is completely specified by a set of transition probabilities. The channel is specified by the matrix of transition probabilities, that it is the square matrix of probability of Y by X, that is Y being received for X being transmitted. This matrix is known as channel matrix. So, we'll see in detail what is a channel matrix. How. So, this is going to be a discrete memoryless channel. You are going to have X discrete elements as the input elements, Y as the output elements, and this this channel is going to be represented as a matrix for probability of yj being received for xi being transmitted, where x, the input, has got discrete set of components ranging from x1 to xm. Similarly, the output is going to range from discrete components y1 to yn. So, on a whole, this channel is going to be represented as a matrix, that is matrix of P of y by x, where the first row elements represents to x1 being transmitted along the channel, for y1 being received, y2 being received, and up to yn being received. So, I am going to transmit x1, and this x1 through the channel is going to be transmitted and received at the y end with any probability ranging from y1 to yn. So, it is from y1 to yn. Similarly, for x2, the second row elements, it is going to be x2 up to y1 by yn. So, it is probability of y1 by x2 up to probability of yn by x2. That is going to be the second row element. So, like that, it is going to up to xm elements or xm, m number of rows and n number of columns for the y values, and this last element is going to be the last element being transmitted for which yn being received. So, the probability of yn being received for xm being transmitted, that is a successful transmission and reception. So, on a whole, the property of this channel is each input to the channel results in some output, and each row of the column matrix must sum be unity. So, this means that summation of j is equal to 1 to n. For all these, you are going to have the probability of this channel to be equal to 1 for all di values. So, now if the input probability of P of x are represented by the row matrix, we can have P of x as probability of the first element, probability of the second element, and probability of the last element of the inputs. So, these are the probability of the discrete elements x1, x2 up to xm. Similarly, you can represent the probabilities of the outputs as P of y, where probability of this P of y is discrete probabilities of an individual matrix elements at the output side, P of y1, y2 up to yn. And then the joint probability matrix P of x comma y is probability of the source matrix, that is P of x, multiplied by probability of the conditional matrix, that is P of y being received for x being transmitted. And this input matrix is going to be represented as a diagonal matrix, which is denoted as P of x diagonal D, where the first row elements is going to be the component of the first element alone. So, the rest of the elements will be 0. Similarly, second element, second column will be present, that is P of x2 will be available, all other elements in that row will be 0. So, this is going to be a diagonal matrix starting from P of x1 up to P of xm for the input matrix or the source matrix to be diagonally represented. So, all other elements is going to be 0 except the diagonal elements. So, all these diagonal or the diagonal probabilities of the source. So, to find the joint probability, you have to multiply this diagonal matrix with a conditional matrix, where I and j elements of the matrix represents the probability of xi and probability of the yj. This matrix P of x comma y is known as the joint probability matrix, and its element are P of xi comma yj. Suppose there are 4 elements, it will be x1, y1, x1, y2, or x2, y1 and x2, y2. So, that is going to be the joint probability functions of all the elements in the matrix.